It's directed by Jalmari Helander, and it's this guy, about this guy named Tommy Korpi. And Korpi dismantles the house where his family was murdered and loads it on a truck he builds it somewhere safe. He soon finds himself in a violent cross-country chase as the Red Army commander, played by Stephen Lang, who killed his family, comes back to finish the job. And Stephen Lang, who plays the villain character Igor Dragunov, who is back for his own seek of conquest and conquistador kind of feel. This is a story pretty much is continuation of the first movie, and it's an all-out infringed war going on with Russia, and they pretty much have dismantled and decimated a whole infringed community, and also let me. Yeah, and pretty much is Haya's exploits certainly are the shades with her white death and his grizzled, near silent anti-hero Tommy Korpi, and this pretty much is inspired by that. Shout out to, and of course, shout out, and the thing is about this film, it's very immersive. You are absolutely immersed into this world of just darker, more depressing side of, an infringed war that's going on where Russia pretty much is taking control and taking over in Finland. And, the Red Army commander, played by Stephen Lang, as Egan Dragunov, he pretty much is taking power with his base and doing whatever they can to kill all women and children, enslave parts of an entire community, and Korpi is trying to get his own revenge and take down this man who pretty much has made his foregone conclude, made his stamp on wrecking havoc at any given cost. The things that I really like about this film is that it's very brutal, it's very violent, and it is like I said before, you're immersed into a world of a violent and infringed and increased territorial tactical war that you definitely do not have no choice of looking away. You wanted to stay, you wanted to be very much attached and a part of where things can be found upon, because it's so much going on when it comes to just the feeling of being a part of an area of war and disparity, desperation, and just overall a crux, like a Swiss Army knife, and pretty much a crux. Knowing that you have all of your surroundings, knowing that you have nothing left, you have no family, pretty much knowing that you have nobody to socialize with, and the main character Korpi, he pretty much has a way of communicating with his own eyes. He doesn't speak, he doesn't really speak any English native language, but he communicates through his eyes, through his facial expressions. That's pretty much how he pretty much tries to have a source of dialogue with that, and also is very action packed, very action packed, heavy, inducing, traumatic, and very hard hitting. And you will definitely get into it with the set of eyes and the set of arms, man. A lot of blood, a lot of carnage, bodies laying. There was a lot of weapons, a lot of usage of grenades, grenade launchers, heavy little grenade bombs. Like, everything just gets decimated. And it also takes place involved at this one set location on a train station. And in this train station, man, it is like, it is so small. It's very small, very crowded, and very condensed. And you are captivated throughout the entire film, just knowing that Korpi is trying to get his way in his path on revenge. And he's pretty much on a path, on a war path, and a blood and on a war path, and a path of looking out for bloodshed, man. And of course Dragunov, because he's such evil, he's such wicked and so vindictive and psychotic in so many ways. He has a way of just manipulating his crew as the Red Army commander, manipulating a group of soldiers into believing his own moral compass and his own ideology. The positives that I would say with this film, as far as the three main pros: number one, the main two leads, Korpi and of course Dragunov, I think played by Jamil, and then or Jamal, and then of course Stephen Lang played as Dragunov. Those are the two main. Those are the two main characters. Why you are focused and concentrated on this film, because through their chemistry, through their dialogue, because it's very personal, because it's very much connected to a through a horrible past, a correlation, and then it happens to be that you are focused on both of these characters, and they're both of their different sides of the story, different journeys throughout, and their path on their war path. You figured out what was going on with them. The second pro I would say is mainly the overall action and the overall scope of it. And then the third biggest major positive I would say is pretty much the pacing slash supporting cast. I would say the biggest negative in the film to me is the third act. And I feel like that was a way of just of feeling like it's not the ending that I would have liked for it to go down. I felt it was very much of a bittersweet moment. It felt very at first kind of hollow, a little bit generic, like we kind of seen this before in other action war films, and it kind of just didn't really evolve into something special. Oh, hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going? Derby and Nick Isu, how's it going? But yeah, it kind of just devolves and neglects in the third act. It kind of just dispels a true narrative like any other film going down. And I saw the director in the interview. He pretty much kind of has a feeling of when he described this film. Jamal, the director, he described the film pretty much as like planes, train, because there's a lot of planes, trains, and automobiles. That's what he kind of pretty much correlated to film towards, that planes, trains, and automobiles kind of feel. And similarly to the first film, it has a lot of window of a path in the third act. In that film, just didn't really come together. And I feel like in this film, the third act doesn't really set a stake and set itself aside. But it's bigger, it's more scope, it's more cinematic, it's more brutal, and it's more violent than the first film. It has a lot of action, it has everything going on within itself, and it completes its duration. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the film. I give it a solid 3 stars out of 4. Definitely check this one out, and tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below. Thank you all for watching. I'm out. Peace.